It is the popular saying that a healthy society is a wealthy one. On the Great Mind program, medical experts are available to provide solutions to various health challenges. You desire greatness in life. Successful men and women in the society are available on the Great Mind program to reveal to you the secrets to their greatness. The Great Mind of Nenti Oshogbo is a watch for all. Meet me on the program every Sunday between 3:30 and 4 p.m. Happy Sunday to you all. It is another exciting moment with me, Bola Olayode, on the program The Great Mind. On the segment where we celebrate the achievers of our time, the personality we are celebrating on the program this week is the former Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Chief Sunday Akere, the Olu-Omo of Igbajoland, who just clocked 60. Meanwhile, on the S segment, our focus will be on the issues that were raised during the visit of Borno Health Insurance Agency to Osun Health Insurance Agency. Among the issues were the relationship between the primary healthcare board and Health Insurance Agency with the facility development and capitation. It is an indisputable fact that knowledge remains the bedrock of development of any society. It will be recalled that in realization of this fact, Board of Directors of Borno Health Insurance Agency traveled down to Osun State without minding the asses on the road to learn from Osun Health Insurance Agency to improve the health sector of Borno State, since Osun Health Insurance Agency has taken the lead among the Committee of States. Among the issues that were raised during the interactive session were relationship between Primary Health Care Board and Health Insurance Agency concerning the public health system, facilities development and capitation. The Executive Secretary, Board of Directors of Osun Health Insurance Agency, Dr. Adeni Ogini, observed that to achieve the goal of sustainable development, there must be a shift in the operation.
Have a single pool that is managed. We say the health insurance agency is actually a finance institution. It's not a healthcare providing, facility. It's just a creator of access. We are the demand generation, side of the whole scheme. We generate demand. We increase the number of people that patronize the facilities. The higher their number, the higher the money that goes to the facilities. The facilities can improve, working together with. The only thing is that rather than making it the sole responsibility of PHC board to govern those places, and we've had different experience in the past of poor performance, now it's now two-legged. These people, they are pushing money somewhere, and then they are going to follow the money. You cannot just spend the money without the quality improvement plan. Your quality improvement plan addresses the thematic areas of priority in improvement. So you see, the two are now working together with a central pool of fund to ensure that primary healthcare is strengthened. I keep telling everyone, I say, I'm an apostle of primary healthcare. I'm an apostle of strengthening primary healthcare because as a public health expert, I know that that is the only way by which our people can get quality health services at their doorstep. And that is what we need. All these poor indices will change if we strengthen our primary healthcare system. But then the financing must come in a pool, a single pool that can be jointly managed in such a way that there is check and balance. That is just the way I think we can improve on that.
The Executive Secretary, Board of Directors of Borno Health Insurance Agency, Dr. Saleh Abba, who assured the Board of Directors of Osun Health Insurance Agency the readiness of Borno State to implement to the fullness the knowledge its agency has acquired from Osun, lamented that issue of health has to do with finance and governance.
And then here we are, we did not regret the hands that we get right now. You see, most of them, they have been in the system and then they have been doing well even in there. Some of them are from the ministry, some of them are from the other agencies, but 70% of them are from the ministry. So even the director of finance and all that, when they came, we do this kind of things, similitude of tax shifting. That was what we were doing. We know we were few, and then we know the work is so much.
You know what we call it here? We call it borderless operation.
Yes.
So the program will work in and we will work in enrollment in the That's the way we will. If we don't do that, we won't achieve.
So that was what we've been doing. Actually, they have been overworked, you know. But this particular visits that we had, it will actually reshape even our decisions, the subsequent ones that we are going to take. When we go, the director I believe is there, is a very experienced person. Even I didn't tell you, but even the ES in Kano was saying that you are far more experienced than even her own director admin. And that was why she said, you should have double role. You should go and sit down with the admin, and then you come back to the finance. That was what she actually noticed over the period we stayed. So this is just some of those things, and I can tell you, if we go back, we are going to sit down, re-examine where we are having gap, refill the gap, where we need more support. We extend our arms to you for actually more support based on what you have experienced and whatever. And the ES here is our forum CEO. So he has been there in the forum for quite some time, and then we are still learning from his past experience. So I think if there is no much to say, I can ask the CEO to actually close for the day.
Head of Borno Primary Healthcare Board, Mohammed Isa, was full of gratitude to the Board of Directors of Osun Health Insurance Agency for extending the hand of fellowship to Borno Health Insurance Agency, and also promised the full implementation of what they have learned from Osun Health Insurance Agency.
That one we are still doing. We've been holding our meetings together. You know, in fact, the ES here, my ED, they have been meeting through that forum. They have been discussing, even though he said just of recent it has been a little bit slow, you know, but I believe they would activate it. So that synergy is there as far as Borno City is concerned. For us, in the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, in preparation for the full take-off of this basic healthcare provision, the greatest hit we faced was about the account opening. Initially, everybody was thinking, since all the health facilities that are under the ENSH are now going to participate in the basic healthcare provision fund, why don't we just continue with that particular account? Since it belongs to the same signatory and everything possible. That was the thinking. But somewhere along the line, for reasons based on the governor or based on the information that he received, he now directed no. He directed for the freezing of this ENSH account, because actually, you know, there were abuses of the money that was left in that account.
Expectedly.
Yes. So he now said, okay, all the accounts remain frozen until further notice. So he now directed that every health facility will now have to start opening a fresh account
For BNC.
And that is what we started. And even that particular counterpart fund, that is the seed money that is being provided by the government, as we speak, it is still lying in our account in the State Primary Development Agency.
That's the 100 million?
Exactly. That is it. Up to this point, it's still lying in the State Primary Development Agency, because most of the health facility up to at last month, about only 80% of the health have concluded the process of opening the account. So we are waiting for the completion of the opening of the account, and then the disbursement will now start for the basic healthcare provision. That one we are doing. We've also gone ahead to complete the baseline assessment, which is one of the preconditions, you know, for exactly. We've concluded that one. So with all this on for now, I think we are almost getting set to the account fully.
The chairman has discussed almost everything that we have discussed, and especially the issue of deployment of staff of the directors to the agency. You know, we party that took time and delayed the activity of the agency taking up. So at least with this experience that we have learned here, And with this legal unit, I think I'll be the first person to take it up with the head of service or reaching home.
Yes.
So that we have the unity at the agency. Yes, because if we have it to be of more advantage to us because of the kind of insurgency and all these problems that we're having, then that legal unit will be of importance to us. Then, and all other things that we have learned, and this will go a long way. And this one, we want to give them feedback so that we improve on our own.
In some situations, we can have primary accreditation, secondary accreditation, and some we have dual, in which we have both primary and secondary together. And if I'm the owner of a facility and I have the patient that is primary, I can easily change it to what? To secondary without getting any code, because there's nobody in our intermediary between us without getting any code. So let's say somebody has malaria now, I can easily change it to what? To a secondary case without, because there's nobody to check me. So the HMO are very important in that you can actually get a code from the what? From the HMOs. So that those are to check those people with a dual accreditation. If it is just only primary accreditation, one can have for referral. There's a room for referral even without health insurance. So what I'm saying in effect was that the HMO TPs, the DPRS saying that you want to relate directly with what? With the healthcare provider. I think you need to look into that.
It is just a two sides of the coin. There are states that are 100% using HMOs. There are states that are partially using HMOs. There are states that are 100% not using HMOs.
Yes.
You understand? What matters is your ability to do all those activities that HMO can do.
That's all.
And why we opted for not HMO? One is because of NHI's experience.
Yes.
That's right. Yes, because of NHI's experience. You can remember that NHOs was like a conduit. If not because of Professor Yusuf that came and then escalated everything.
HMOs were exposed.
They opened the nyash and every, So, if not because of Professor Yusuf, we may not even know how many people were enrolled in NHI, because they have been giving us a false data that about 15% of Nigerians has been covered under NHIs, not knowing that we have less than 5%. It is only when Yusuf came that we were able to realize that. Do you know that even that percent has even represented in postgraduate medical college exams? The wrong percent, and that wrong percent is the right answer. That is how bad it has gone. And we realize that based on antecedents, we all know who owned these HMOs. There are people that are so rich, so powerful, that the moment you bring them in, you never can tell what will happen in the next 1, 2, 3 years to your scheme. So we don't want to dive into this kind of issues. That is number one. That is the political aspect of it. Now we come back to the agency aspect. This agency is a financial agency, and you want to actually always have thinking of the cost implication of anything that you are going into, whether this thing is going to add value to my agency or not. You understand? If you can mobilize people within the system, and then they can do the same thing that HMOs does, and the money that you are supposed to pay the HMOs comes back to your pocket, as long as you are the ones at the advantage. So these are the things that we see.
We will not actually be needing HMOs anymore, like I've said it, because all of these will be automated, and encounters in the facility will be recorded real time. And so when a facility owner is trying to make a claim, you put it in the system will reject any intervention that is not meant to be secondary. You understand? So it will not allow you to process the claim. It's a process where we're moving towards that. But in our startup phase, we didn't have the requisite number of staff. We didn't have the requisite knowledge and experience. We didn't even have any ICT, so to say. We did all our operations manually. So it would have been killing for us to also take on that particular aspect, which we didn't have much skill about. That's why we used the third-party administrator. But we could get to the level where we will not be using them when we have perfected the use of our application, or first the development of the application and its use. So might just be that for you, you concentrate on developing your application to answer to all the modules of your operations. At the end of the day, you are home and dry.
So I would like to help my DH, who is my committee. I share something to him when we were pulling the staff from the system. What we actually do, we leverage on the experience of the director of admins. They know who and who are competent in their ministry. And they don't just look for the level 100, level this, level that. There are some people who are just level 2. Who are PSU and who are very competent and bringing a fresh idea. They are very competent. But because there's no job here,
they just put them inappropriately.
So you can bring those people, and those are the people that we brought in, and they are working very well, efficiently and effectively with us.
Within the this kind of gathering, something very important I want to advise our guests is that please try as much as possible to work in a systematic flow. Don't do things the right way individually because it's not sustainable. Try to create a process. Try as much as possible to work with documentation, because an expert might work today, might do it very well. That expert is not going to be there for life. A succession plan comes with a system. So this is at a very good time that you are developing so many things. Try and take into your consideration that you want to develop a system.
Board of Directors of Borno Health Insurance Agency were in Osun State between Monday, August 30, 2021 and Thursday, September 2, 2021. On the departure of the team, which was led to Osun State by the Executive Secretary, Board of Directors of Borno Health Insurance Agency, Dr. Saleh Abba, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Health, Mr. Gbenga Oyibode, was on ground to bid the visiting team farewell. Now you are welcome to the segment where we celebrate the achievers of our time. As I said earlier, the personality we are celebrating on the program this week is Chief Sunday Akere, former Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Osun State. We are celebrating him because of his achievement in life can be described as the reward for diligence, hard work, and perseverance. This house at Sakiro compound in Igbajo is the origin of late Pa Amos Olayiwola Akere, the father of Chief Sunday Akere, former Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Osun State. This is the root of Mrs. Deborah Wurola Akere, the mother of Sunday Akere Olu-Omo of Igbajoland. The compound of his mother is Olawole's compound in Igbajo. Chief Sunday Akere, who was born on September 3, 1961, started his elementary education at Baptist Day Primary School, Igbajo, and later attended Kriji Memorial College for his secondary school education.
It's just like that of a normal village boy, because I was born when my parents were still living in Ibaraki in Ondo State. So they left Ibaraki and came to Ibadan while I was a kid of about 3 3, 4, 5 years. At about age 6, I left Ibadan with the senior brother to my dad, and we went to Igbajo. So it was while I was in Igbajo as a kid of about 5, 6, 7 years that I got enrolled for my primary education. My dad just decided that, okay, go and stay with auntie in the village. So I was with my dad's auntie, senior sister, elder sister, and I was staying with her all through the years I spent in primary school. I did my primary education at Baptist Day Primary School, Kyogo, Igbajo. So when I finished primary school in 1973, you know, the economy then wasn't as buoyant. My elder brother was then in secondary school about finishing. And you know our elders of then, they will say how there is no sufficient money to keep 2 of you in secondary school for now. They said, okay, you have to wait a bit for him to finish. It was then I have to travel with my uncle, the junior brother to my mom. He was then working in Lagos, so I have to travel to Lagos with him. So I stayed with him for a year. It was while I was with him during that year, 1 year after my primary school. And Kiriji Memorial College, my secondary school then, was like this international elite school. When they want to do admission, they send forms to the north, they send to the east, they send to everywhere. So that was how I collected the admission form to Kiriji.
Passed his West African School certificate with flying colors. Sunday Akere used his ordinary level certificate to secure employment in 1979 with the Ministry of Agriculture in the old Oyo State.
School in 1979, I stayed at home for about 3 months. And in September 1979, I was given employment by the Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources in Ibadan, because all of us we were in Oyo State then. So I joined them as an admin clerk, working in the admin registry. And that was through the grace of my uncle, that was the PS, that was the director, admin and finance then.
In the old Oyo State? In
the old Oyo States, because by the time I was given appointment, my uncle, Chief Inolaji Ababa, was the director, finance and admin. Before he later became PS, later became the secretary to the state government in Osun then. So I worked with the ministry for about from September 79 to 1981.
As a young man who has insatiable thirst for knowledge, Sunday Akere only worked with the Ministry of Agriculture for 2 years and obtained admission to Ibadan Polytechnic before crossing to University of Ibadan.
When I was working, I was trying my hand on getting admission to several schools. At a period, I even tried School of Health Tech while I was working. In 1981, I was admitted to the School of Health Tech. I think Elisha then. And at the same time, I was given admission to the Polytechnic Ibadan. And I said, let me stay in Ibadan this time. So I went to the Polytechnic Ibadan. When I was at Polytechnic Ibadan, ND1, I was the PRO of the Engineering Students Association, Olu-Ibadan. And that year I did JAMB, and I was offered admission to the University of Ibadan.
Being a reliable man, Sunday Akere took to the altar the only lady he dated when he was in secondary school. His joy of inestimable valor, who is a nurse by profession, Mrs. Sunday Akere ní Oyewosi, made this revelation about how she met her husband.
We met when we were in secondary school. He passed out and I was still in Form 3 then. And he has been a wonderful husband since we got married in 1991, April 6. He is humble, honest, trustworthy.
Being a very industrious man and fulfilling the scriptural injunction that little beginnings should not be despised. As soon as Chief Sunday Akere graduated from university, he started his own business.
He was employed by a private company, Midage Nigeria Limited. It was an industrial starch production company that was established then in Tede. Tede is a village close to Shaki in Oyo State. So I was engaged as a production manager and I was working there. We were producing industrial starch for exports out of the country. So I was with them for 2 years. And I left that place early 1992. So from 1992 to date, I've been self-employed. I've been to several businesses. At a period before even up to now, I have a company that is involved because I have the advantage that the uncle I said I went to stay with when I left primary school was a banker. He retired as a director with CBN. And while I was with him, I will see envelopes of shares and dividends they will be posting to him. So I was curious. I will open the envelope as a small boy. I will look at it. This is little money now. So it built up my interest in buying company shares.
Chief Sunday Akere has this piece of advice for the youth.
What I will have for the youth is that they should be focused, they should be determined, and they should not allow themselves to be distracted.
From our end here, we wish Chief Sunday Akere the Olu-Omo of Igbajoland more years of fruitful service to God and humanity. On that note, we are ending this week's edition of the program. Next Sunday is another date, God willing. Till then, stay blessed.